The world is in trouble and needs some superheroes to save it. Over time, the regular bursts of floods, earthquakes, and the effects of climate have created a situation that keeps endangering the earth and its occupants. But as they say, not all heroes wear capes. In response to the staggering effects of these natural and man-made disasters in our environment today, the affected nations are standing on their toes in the search for solutions. From architects whipping out their sketch pads, to strategists analysing the suggestions and costs, to engineers ever ready to implement, several mega projects have begun to see the light of day. Join us as we explore these heroic billion-costing projects and how they can save the world. Emerging at the forefront are the high walls being constructed on the borders of Manhattan, New York City. It is true that New York is adored for their beautiful landscapes and endearing infrastructure. However, the city is also prey to the ravaging fists of storms and sudden floods. One fateful day in 2012, Hurricane Sandy blasted out and took the lives of over 45 individuals with it. This devastating event also left a depressing stain on the economic situation of the city, as damaged properties rose to an estimated over $19 billion. Following the chaos, the New York government sought to ensure that the city was protected at all costs against any future disasters. This gave immediate urgency to the planning and building of the flood barrier walls, also known as the Big U Project. The walls span approximately 2.4 miles along the eastern edge of Manhattan from Montgomery Street to East 25th Street. This location was chosen for the construction of the wall due to its low-lying geography and proximity to the East River, where the storm lashed out from. With a mind-blowing depth of 35 metres and 3 metres high above the water surface to accommodate the projected sea level rise, it is little wonder that the project reached an estimated cost of over $1 billion. No stones are left unturned in the quality of these walls either, as reinforced concrete is used in its erection, and at its core, the walls would serve as a robust protection against storm surges, rising sea levels, and coastal flooding. In addition, this wall would also form a source of major attraction and revenue, as an elevated park and waterfront areas are being built alongside. The project is speculated to be fully completed by 2026. Then, the anti-flood wall would be a testament to the fast response of authorities to critical situations while giving the people sufficient confidence in the face of reoccurring storm. The beautiful city of canals called Venice truly has its canals overflowing, as floods just won't leave them alone. Due to the unique geographical location of this city, they are left at high risk of being swept away by flooding caused by high tides known as acqua alta, which means between autumn and spring. The city has also bounced back from the reoccurring acqua alta, but as they did, the tides kept rising. Aside from a wild flood taking over Venice in 2009, the city was again visited in November 2019, leaving the city in nothing far from shambles. This most recent flood brought along the highest tide that the city has ever seen in 50 years and buried over 85% of the city in its water force. As a retaliation to this natural disaster, the Italian authorities converged and came up with the MOSE Project. MOSE, short for Modulo Sperimentale Elettromeccanico, is a mega project organised in 2003 to protect the citizens of Venice through the erection of barriers. The project, which is situated at the 3 entrances to the Venetian lagoon, the Lido Inlet, the Malamocco Inlet and the Chioggia Inlet, comprises 78 mobile barriers divided into 19 barriers for each inlet. Its structure was designed in a way that is highly movable. During a high tidal flood, these barriers are moved to isolate the Venetian lagoon from the Adriatic Sea, and this prevents flooding. The intricacies and materials put into building these barriers left financial projections at a startling $5.5 billion, making it the most expensive mega project in all of Italy's history. Although the first section of these barriers was first built in 2008, the project has faced massive delays attributed to different corruption scandals. However, a segment of the MOSE project was tested in 2020 and it yielded a positive result, encouraging enough to be seen as reliable in the face of another acqua alta. The beautiful low-lying land located between Belgium and Germany, called the Netherlands, has had its fair share of destruction, with over 26% of the country's land lying below sea level. The high risk of exposure to coastal flooding is no longer news to them. This unique but endangering geography sent the Dutch working, leaving them with several dikes spanning over 22,500 kilometres of the territory and dunes for days. All this is aimed at preventing the flood from the North Sea and the rivers. However, these protective measures proved ineffective when the North Sea flood stormed the Netherlands in 1953. With the flood came havoc and devastating loss of properties, infrastructures, and lives numbering over 1,800 individuals. In the depth of such catastrophe, the Delta Project was initiated by the Dutch government. In 1958, the construction of this massive and sophisticated flood prevention system began in earnest, demanding billions of euros while at it. Tagged the biggest civil engineering mega project in all of Dutch history, this flood barrier system comprises iconic structures like the Eastern Scheldt Storm Surge Barrier, the Maelslant Storm Surge Barrier, and the Barrier Dam. Spanning over 4 decades in its creation, Delta Works project contains approximately 15 dams and 2 curved gates, with each 220 metre in length and 22 metres high, earning it the title of the world's largest defence system. Before a storm occurs, the storm alert goes off, and this outstanding system blocks the canal to the North Sea and eliminates the risk of casualties. Although this project was completed in 1978, it still undergoes maintenance and expansion, with more dikes and dunes set in place. This move to not take any chances borders on the fact that the Netherlands is not yet flood hazard free. According to the 2021 IPCC reports, sea levels are expected to rise in the coming years, placing the city in shaky ground despite its sophisticated flood defence system. However, in the present, the continuous development of the Delta Works project serves to adequately protect the city from storms and is a reminder that the safety of the Dutch lives is a priority to their authorities. The home of breathtaking attractions and cuisines called Japan is not left out of the billion-dollar project list. As well as being a home to arts and culture, this country also houses a vast mountainous terrain and rivers. But this outstanding landscape not only serves as attractions, but a great precipitator of natural disasters. The nation is known to experience heavy amounts of rainfall called Siu, especially during the rainy season and the typhoon season, and management measures have always been in place. Nevertheless, on the 11th of March 2011, a greater disaster struck. The Tohoku earthquake and tsunami lashed out from the Tohoku region of Japan without warning. Also known as the Great East Japan Earthquake, it occurred at a magnitude of 9.0 and triggered a tsunami in its wake. The effects were shattering as the disastrous event claimed over 15,000 lives, with many more missing and injured, while putting millions of properties to waste. Not only was the tsunami triggered, but the tsunami also set off a nuclear crisis at a nearby power plant, further wreaking havoc on the environment. In the wake of the saddening disasters, the Japanese government swung into action to prevent a reoccurrence of the unhealthy trail. The result was the Great Sea Walls Project, estimated to be 15 metres tall and currently spanning over 450 kilometres over the coastline. These walls cost billions of dollars to erect and steadily maintain. Built of reinforced concrete and by the best of engineers, one would think that this is the total solution to the disasters. However, the Tohoku tsunami was calculated to be over 22 metres high, overshadowing the current seawall's height. Will it stand if another catastrophic wave occurs? While it is true that natural disasters like Hurricane Sandy and the Tohoku earthquake cannot be prevented, establishing protective measures in the form of walls and barriers has come a long way in ensuring the safety of lives and properties. However, these mega infrastructures come with their price tags, like potential effects on water quality, destruction of existing infrastructure, and a habitat makeover. Nevertheless, there should be relentless strategies in place for the maintenance and expansion of these mega projects, since they are of higher importance.